Similar to others, I want to use this opportunity today simply to say thank you. To say thank you to some of my MVPs over the last 10 years. Thank you to my secret superheroes who make this Capitol one of the most beautiful places to work in the country. Say thank you to those who keep us safe and those who make it a little bit more manageable being 250 miles away from home. People like Lynn and Spiz, people like my friend Dee. Dee, she works downstairs in the cafeteria. And she's my superhero because every day Dee shows up to work, she greets me and others with a smile on her face. She brightens my day, no matter what personal struggle she's dealing with. No matter what challenges she's facing in her personal life, she always treats me like I'm her son or her friend and gives me a genuine smile. People like that I'll never forget. Those people that touch your lives, like Mark said, in some ways that they'll never know, but I hope people like Dee appreciates how she touches people's lives. I additionally want to say thank you to the Capitol Police Department and the House Security Department. In this crazy world that we're living in, thank you for risking your lives to protect ours so that we can get home to our families safely. You truly are superheroes. To the members, past and present, collectively over the last 10 years, I've thoroughly enjoyed working with each and every one of you. In particular, I want to say thank you to some of the members who've inspired me over the years, people like Jake Wheatley. You know, Jake's inspired me many times, but specifically on June 22nd, when Jake asked people to put down their labels and to love people. He had a cry for people outside this Capitol and inside this Capitol to value every life and to know that every life has dignity and people should cherish the lives that they have and to treat people with respect. People like Mark Rossi. Mark, throughout your journey of fighting for victims of sexual violence, you've inspired me, but particularly on this past September 24th and 25th, when his legislation was lifted out of this chamber. People like Garth Everett and Carrie Benninghoff. Watching those two men bravely talk about the medical challenges of their daughter and their grandson inspired me and many others. People like Pam Delisio and Jeff Pyle. They came into this hall every day with a smile on their face and a passion to serve their constituents as they were battling cancer. You two inspired me, and I know many others. Those instances and many others that I've watched some of you have to struggle with have made me realize that people outside this Capitol, they're oftentimes ignorant to the fact that we're human beings and that we're dealing with personal struggles and challenges. And even sometimes when we're in the middle of a budget debate or we're debating highly emotional and sensitive issues, I think we sometimes forget that our colleagues may be struggling with personal challenges. I may not be able to convince those outside this Capitol to treat us with respect and understand the challenges that people are going through, but I do ask all of you to stop and appreciate that the people that you're working alongside, not only do they have professional things that they're working on and a passion to serve their constituents, but they may also be dealing with personal challenges. Next, I want to thank some members who were helpful in passing legislation that was important to me. I'd like to recognize those who helped pass several school choice proposals that I had introduced. Bills to create the OSTC program, to expand, streamline, and integrate the OSTC and the EITC programs. Former Representatives Mike Verb, Mike Gerber, Tony Payton, and Sam Smith. Current Representatives Jamie Santora and Speaker Mike Turzai for all you've done on that important issue to me and many others. Those programs have saved hundreds of thousands of kids who were trapped in failing, oftentimes very violent schools, and put them on a path to success. Thank you to the members that helped pass the petrochemical tax credit bill, a bill that the CEO of Royal Dutch Shell credited as a necessary and impactful piece of legislation that led to their $6 billion investment in Beaver County. Thank you. I know that we throw the word billions around all the time in this building, but that investment represents the largest private investment in Pennsylvania since World War II. There are 30 cranes operating in one site right now in Beaver County, and soon there'll be 100 cranes building that plant. And it's 2 miles from Jan and I's home. So thank you to Jim Marshall, Bill Kortz, Rob Matzey, and so many others that I would be remiss if I didn't thank you for changing Beaver County. I'd also like to thank Mark Mustio for putting Nolan to sleep today so that I didn't have to feel like my speech put him to sleep. I look over there. I thank you, Mark, for getting Nolan a nap. I'd also like to thank those who helped me pass some transparency measures, PENNWATCH and SchoolWATCH. When it comes to solving our challenges in this building, whether they're budgetary problems, healthcare challenges, or restoring the public's trust in government, transparency is the prescription for curing those problems because you can't heal what you don't reveal. Leader Reed, Policy Chairman Benninghoff, Speaker Turzai, Seth Grove, and Stan Saylor, thank you for your help in getting those bills to this floor, and thank you all members for passing that legislation. Thank you to Representative Dan Frankel. It was an honor to serve alongside you in our effort to temporarily end the UPMC Highmark feud. I think it was also a model of what this place needs more of. Dan and I could have spent years on where we disagree on healthcare policy. But from the very beginning, we agreed to focus on where we agreed, and we found a solution, and we went all around Pittsburgh and anywhere that we would be invited to talk about the need for that UPMC Highmark feud to end. I hope that in the next session, you tackle that again as it continues to rear its ugly head, not just in western Pennsylvania, but in central Pennsylvania and even now in the southeast. I'd like to thank those individuals here in Harrisburg who taught me some important life lessons, like the late Dan Clark, like Dave Thomas. You know, early in my second term, it was around June 30th. It was our first budget in the majority. It was the budget where we were committed to getting a budget done on time, and it was a little bit uncertain if we would make that timeline. And I remember Dave Thomas, who worked for Speaker Sam Smith at that time. He was sitting right up here where Mark is sitting, and I had my new seat on the aisle, and Dave Thomas went like this to me to come up to the rostrum. And so I buttoned my jacket. I thought, man, the speaker must need me to help finish this budget. And I walked up there proudly, and when I got up here, Dave just whispered in my ear, "Man, you're starting to get fat." That inspired me to lose 35 pounds. So thank you, Dave Thomas, for your leadership. Thanks some others in Harrisburg who I've worked with over the years. Abby Haslam. Abby, you're one of the most talented people I've ever worked with. Tony, Karen, Sandy Panko, and Paula, they were the only two secretaries I ever needed up here. Thank you for your help. And Danielle Geyer. You know, Danielle knew that there was something that was really important to me. McGuire Memorial School is a private school. They educate some of the most severely physically, mentally, and behaviorally challenged kids. And they were losing students to approved private schools in Pittsburgh because the home district would save 50% on the tuition. So they were forced to send these kids on a bus for an hour because they couldn't afford to send them to McGuire. So Danielle was the person who's my superhero and the superhero of McGuire that made sure that over the next 4 budgets, the fiscal code had language to fix that problem. They are so appreciative of Danielle's efforts and many people's efforts up here. Obviously, we know that legislators get far more credit than we deserve. But today I want to give credit where credit is due and thank Danielle. I couldn't think what it would be like to give a farewell speech without mentioning the two young ladies in my office, Monica and Jen, who have been with me for a long time. And I don't know what else to say than thank you. Thank you for all you've done to serve the 15th District. Thank you for inspiring me to fight for the first maternity leave, to fight for the first maternity leave policy for state employees. Thank you to Allie Fisher, Leader Dermody, Speaker Turzai, and Leader Reed for finally establishing the first maternity leave policy for state employees. And all the people that work for the state employees of all the agencies, the Democratic and Republican leadership team in the House established the first maternity leave policy. And thank you, gentlemen, for your leadership and ladies for fighting for a program that needs expanded. We've got a long way to go, but thank you to the leadership team for finally doing that. I want to thank real quickly some people that have worked in my district office over the years: Karen, Josh, Roman, Alicia, and Julie, for all you've did for me and my family and the people of the 15th District. To the people of the 15th District, thank you for this opportunity. The people of Beaver County, I was a 25-year-old kid, and as the leader said yesterday, who was not prepared for being prepared to be a legislator when I was elected. I'm not a Harvard student. I just had the guts to do it, and they took a shot on me. And I'm forever thankful for that opportunity, and to the people of Washington County who allowed me to finish what I started. Finally, I want to thank my family, my parents, Jan-Ann's parents. Recently, Representative English, he mentioned the difficulty of being the representative's kids. And I said, I completely agree with his assessment, but I will also say that it's a challenge being the representative's parents. We're in this vile, toxic environment right now where everything is said about candidates. And some of us candidates and elected officials, we expect it. And even though we voluntarily go into the arena, I don't think a parent is ever prepared to stomach those. I'd like to thank my brother, my sisters, my brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws for their love and support. I'd like to thank my loving wife, Jan-Ann. And I know she's taught me that public speeches are not the best forum to truly express my abounding love and appreciation. But it is worth noting that over 10 years, my staff has seen some changes. The car I pack up and drive to Harrisburg has seen changes. Thanks to Dave Thomas, my weight has even changed. My hair color is starting to change, but Jan-Ann's love and support has never changed. And I was going to talk about Nolan, but he's sleeping. But my man Nolan, he's had to stomach and deal with a dad who leaves for Harrisburg, a year-long grueling campaign, and things that his baby sister in January won't have to deal with. But he's changed my life, and I just can't thank him enough for being a really special, special boy. So with that, I just want to say thank you again. I apologize to anyone I missed or didn't name. I just didn't want to do what Mark Mustio did and just read the roll. So, Mr. Chairman.
We have a little toast, and this is a toast that I did actually after I was first elected, and Mary Larsenes, who worked on my campaign. I spent 7 straight weeks with her. Will probably remember this.
Friends may come.
Friends may go.
Friends may peter out.
But
we'll be friends.
Through thick or thin.
Peter out.
Peter in.
God bless you.